Not the Nerd O'Clock News. Winter 2019.
The facts as I know them are not facts, but theories. Thus, the following fantastical, known non-truths are founded exclusively upon fragments of fruity fiction, and any similarity between their respective narratives and entities within the realm of reality is purely coincidental. What a cop-out! As a result of a $170 million out-of-court settlement with America's Federal Trade Commission, cyberspace colossus Google attempted to absolve themselves of future responsibility for allegedly violating children's rights to online privacy. The FTC had accused the company of illegally collating data from minors accessing their YouTube video streaming platform and employing it to conduct targeted advertising without parental consent. Despite a minimum age of 13 being officially required to open a YouTube account and the existence of a separate child-specific service entitled YouTube Kids. Google's solution was to instruct individual channel owners to expressly state whether or not the content they were uploading was made for children, by which was in fact meant, is it likely to attract predominantly underaged viewers by featuring certain defining subject matter within a ludicrously broad range? If the answer was yes, the applicable video would incur a series of catastrophic restrictions, including heavily limited searchability, terminal demonetization, and a permanently closed comments section. If the answer was no, but the FTC just happened to disagree, the creator in question could face a fine of up to $39,509,900.42. Following a whirlwind of furious protests, both Google and the FTC advised all creators to consult their fantastically ambiguous guidelines to more accurately determine their channel's true demographic, thereby strongly implying that even those with years of broadcasting experience, many of whom boasted viewing figures larger than those generated by primetime network television, were profoundly ignorant of their intended audiences. Google also utilized these guidelines to devise and implement an algorithmic search and flag system, which could automatically identify supposedly child-centric content and override a creator's designation, with occasional manual assistance from a YouTube staff person. Whilst this could effectively shield the creator from a devastating financial penalty, it still relegated their content to a hopelessly obscure and unprofitable state. Aspects of a creator's compositions that Google suggested may merit due consideration. Can you stop that music, please? Thank you. Aspects of a creator's compositions that Google suggested may merit due consideration or trigger autonomous reclassification included the presence of child performers, such as Linda Blair in The Exorcist, the appearance of celebrities which children may be interested in or regard as role models, such as every single famous pop star, actor, TV presenter, or sports personality. A topical emphasis on toys, including those encountered in every antique shop throughout the entire world, and amassed by adult collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts, all keen to share their knowledge and experience through the medium of video with the aim of igniting a healthy passion amongst others and making a modest profit. Activities which may engage a child's interest, such as fancy dress, cosplay, attending sci-fi and comic book conventions, organising LAN parties, and a gamut of other whimsical pastimes that grown-ups couldn't possibly relish in the absence of children. Stop the music! Thank you. Games which a child might enjoy, not least chess, poker, Monopoly, Risk, backgammon, as well as all those made for computer bearing a parental advisory warning, but which mummy and daddy would, consciously or otherwise, permit their offspring to indulge in for want of a little personal space, to play exactly the same games. cartoon characters, stories and animations that children may find appealing, including those native to or inspired by the likes of South Park, Family Guy, Monkey Dust, and a cornucopia of comics and graphic novels from the historic annals of Marvel and DC, not forgetting several centuries of Japanese manga. The use of language or expressions common within younger generations, or intended to be easy for children to comprehend. Duh, whatever, rad, gross, fun, woke, Apple, Facebook, debt, insurance, loan, and anti-disestablishmentarianism. And very much not finally, but it was the last thing that I could be bothered to mention, narrated literature written for children. For example, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, heartily detested by all adults. The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, never once given a second glance by a grown-up. Or indeed, a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm, perhaps Joseph R. Montagu's little-known 1866 edition of the sinister fable Rumpelstiltskin, about an innocent miller's daughter imprisoned in a dungeon by a ruthless king who says he'll decapitate her if she doesn't spin huge piles of straw into gold like her father said she could. Then a strange little man turns up and completes the task for her in return for adopting her firstborn child. But then after she marries the king and births a son, she changes her mind and begs the little man for mercy, causing him to grant her wish provided she correctly guesses his name within 3 days, which she does, by sending 2 courtiers to spy on him. Then when he visits the palace to collect his debt, he's so angry that he stamps up and down and tears himself in half, and a huge splurge of his guts and blood go flying into the king's face, causing him to stagger backwards into a nearby brazier, setting his robes alight, which he then attempts to extinguish with a tankard of water, which turns out not to be water, but a double pint of his massively alcoholic ale, thus stoking the fire into a raging blaze. Then, to save himself the agony of burning to death, he takes his sword and proceeds to hack his own head off, which then bounces along the floor into a wall, dislodging a torch which falls hot side down onto the miller's daughter's head, who then sprints for the closest exit in a blind panic, but trips over the king's still rolling head, stumbling straight into the brazier, which collapses, scattering flaming coal and embers all over the 2 courtiers, who clutch wildly at the curtains trying to stifle the now satanic inferno, which promptly engulfs them along with what remains of the throne room. But the king's still rolling head bobbles out of a nearby exit, down a flight of stairs and into the armoury, colliding with several hundred kegs of freshly ground gunpowder, but retaining just enough neural capacity to be able to think, "Ooh, this is a bit hot," before the entire castle explodes into smithereens.
Pardon me, but I feel you may have exaggerated the ending just a little bit, don't you think?
No, actually, that's Joseph R. Montagu's 1866 revision, based on true events, no less.
No. I really hate to fact-check you, but I rather think not.
Excuse me, but if you research this a little, you'll discover that you're the one who's mistaken. But even if by chance I were wrong, I'd have made it up anyway, because goring up your content was one of several novel workarounds for creators to definitively debunk the notion that it was conceived to entertain children. Don't you get it, Google? We're all just big kids, so grow up and leave us alone.